Hello everyone, in this video tutorial I am going to show you how I'm gonna design this profile UI using Flutter framework. In the previous video, where I will put the link in this description of this video, I show you how I design this profile quickly using Figma software. So now it's time to code this profile UI. Yes, it's very simple, it's easy, but we are going to learn so much from this video tutorial. So what you are going to need in this video tutorial, you only need an image where I will put the link in the description of this video. This is a free image from Unsplash. So after creating a new project, a new Flutter project using VS Code, you only need to download the image and create a new folder that I call here assets. Inside that folder I create another one, call it images, where I put the person.jpg, and after doing that you only need to go to this file here, pubspec.yaml, where you will include our assets in here. So here is the line that you will uncomment and just link to our image in order to use it in our project. That's it for now. So let's go started. Don't bother about all this file because it's a previous file. It's a previous project where I create a bottom navigation bar, but here I'm only going to focus on this UI of a profile UI. So in the main.dart, don't bother. I'm just gonna change the title here to be, let's say for example, profile UI, and debug show check banner, make it false in order to hide the debug banner, and also this is a default stuffs. So this is a profile UI image that I will create inside the pages. Here I create a file, I call it profile UI.dart. so here is, this is a file, it's for now it's empty. Let's create our stateless class. Let's import first our material, the dart. So let's wait a little bit in order for our project to be indexed from the VS Code, and let's start. Okay, let's just give it some time. Okay, alright, so okay, so here we import our material, the dart. Let's create our class, our stateless class. Call it profile UI that extends stateless widget. So as I said, let's return our scaffold here, and inside the scaffold for the body property, I'm gonna give a single child scroll view, which also I'm gonna give some padding for that. Let's close first this sidebar here, make a full view of our code here, and let's give a child for this. No, I don't want to close, so let's change the language. Okay, great. Let's give a child for this single child scroll view, which will take a column. Inside this column I'm gonna create my widget. As you see here, I'm gonna divide my project or my page into 3 parts. The first part, which will be the top of my page, I'm gonna create a new widget that I'm gonna call, for example, top page widget. So for this top, it's gonna be a method of type widget, which will return the top of my page. Let's create this top page widget. So if you see here in our device, it's an empty screen, but let's go and create our widget. I'm gonna call it of type here. So this is our other images, but here we're gonna I'm call it top page widget, which will return a safe area, and inside this safe area I'm gonna give another container, and for this container I'm gonna give a height of 260. Inside also I'm gonna give a width of double infinity, so that it take all the width available. Some padding of only from top, which will be 20 pixel, and the child that gonna be a column. Inside this column a children, where I'm gonna put another container. So inside this container I'm gonna give it a width of 142, and the same as the head. So I'm gonna need to make this container rounded or circle. That's why I'm gonna give it a decoration, a box that takes a box decoration. So the box decoration, I'm gonna give it first some border, which will be of 2 pixels, and the color will, I'm gonna give it some gray color with opacity here. I'm gonna give it a black color with some opacity, so that it looks like a gray color. For the shape, it's gonna be a circle. I want this container not to be square, but a circle. That's why I'm gonna give it the shape of box shape circle. A color of white, and I need to put our image inside this container. That's why I'm gonna give it an image that takes a decoration image, where I gonna find this image inside my assets here, person.jpg. I already download this image and put it in that folder in my assets. I put the link in description of this video if you want to use the same image as me, but you can use any image you like. So to make this image takes all the width or all the circle, I'm gonna give it a box fit of cover. So let's just just save and see what we are going to see in this. I call this top page widget, but okay, and this is a top page widget with the okay, it doesn't matter. Let's continue here. So I'm gonna give some height of from this image, some height of 14 pixel, and some text of the name. It will be Alan Wilson as my design, and some style. Let's style this text here. For the font size, it's gonna be 26 pixel, and for the font width, this is my font width here. I'm gonna make it a little bold so that it looks it emphasizes my text. So another subtitle, which will be graphic designer. Let's style this graphic designer here. Font size of 16, and the color, I pick this color from my design from Figma. Okay, so that's cool. Now I call this top widget in my column here in my children. Let's just fix the name here, and let's run on my device so that we can see how it looks in my device. So after saving the file, and so this is how it looks in my device here, in my real device. After saving my files here, this is my top widget, and under here I define this is my widget here, top page widget, which it's returning this safe area that takes a container, and this container that it takes a column of image and text here. So great, let's go and create a states widget. So now let's create another widget here in my scaffold, in my single child scroll view. Inside the column, I'm gonna create another widget that I'm gonna call states widget. Now let's create this states widget here below our widget here that I created before, top page widget. I create now another new widget. I'm gonna call it states widget, that return a container here, and inside that container I'm gonna give it firstly a width of double dot infinity. It takes all the width available in my device, and for the head I'm gonna give a 60 pixel for now, just because I want my dividers, my vertical dividers, to appear. If you don't give a height to your container, probably your dividers will not appear. So make sure to give some height. I found that 60 is good enough. So as a padding, I give it a horizontal padding, so from left and right of 16 pixel, and for the margin from top 16 also. This container will return a row which will take three things, three columns. So for the first thing, I'm gonna give it some space between for the main axis alignment, so it will take the center of my device, and the children of this row will be, first one, a column that it returns, or it takes a list of widgets. Again, I'm gonna give a text for that column, which will be 60 or 36 posts. I'm gonna style this 36. I'm gonna give it a font size of 26, so that it will looks large or bold. It emphasize. I want it to be bold as my design. For the font width, I'm gonna give it a bold font width here of 700, and also below this 36, it's a column here, so I'm gonna give posts. Let's style this posts color. I'm gonna pick a color from my design from Figma. This is my color here, and also let's give some vertical divider so that it separates between the three items in my row. Let's create another column inside here inside my row. So I am here in the column here, I am in my column. Let's create another column below here. This column is the same as my previous one. Let's just repeat the things. It takes a text that is will be styled just like this 36 here, just like this 36. It's gonna be font size of 26 and bold of 700, and the same one as here for lower, it's here as posts, the same color, and a vertical divider from this column here below this column. Let's create another column here which will be 12, the same as 36 and the other one, and the projects here the same color as follower as posts. Below this one I don't need another divider, so that's it for now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save the file and see how it will be looking in my device. So after saving this file here is in my device how it looks really in my device now. This is my three widgets. This is my two widgets, the top page and also the states widget. So if you look at this column here, I have two widgets for now, top page widget and state widget. The states widget is here where I create a row that takes three columns here. For the first one it takes a column that takes this is a number, this is a post, style, and a vertical divider. So another column and another vertical divider and another column here. Now it's time to create the third widget for my project here. Let's create the About Me widget. Now below this states widget, I'm gonna create another widget which I'm gonna call for now About Me widget. Let's return in this About Me widget a container, and in this container here I'm gonna give some margin of top 48 pixels from the top, and the child which will be a column where it makes cross axis alignment start. It starts from the beginning of the cross axis. And the children, for the children here I'm gonna return a text which will say about me, and this about me I'm gonna style it like this. I'm gonna give a text style of font size of 20 pixel and the font width of 600, which will be just like semi bold. And let's give some margin from this title and between this title vertically and the description of my About Me. Another text here which is just a dummy text that I put in my Figma design, which in the real case will be your description, but here it's just a dummy text, a lorem ipsum text. Let's style this text a little bit. So for styling this text I need to give it a text style which will give a size of this text will be 16, and the color I'm gonna pick this gray color from my design. Okay, now what I need is just this About Me widget. I'm gonna call it in my children of column here in my scaffold area, in my scaffold widget here from my profile UI stateless widget. Right, so let's just copy this About Me and let's save again our files and see how it looks in my. Great. So once you save this file and call this about me widget in your scaffold widget, this is how it will be looking in the device. So just like this, it's very simple. One thing that I'm gonna design and finish this project is the call to action button, which will say hire me. Let's design this button right now. First thing what I need to do is to create another widget inside this column here in my scaffold, another widget that will return a flat button widget. So let's create this build flat button widget. Below my about me widget, I'm gonna create another flat button, which will name it build flat button widget, which of course will return a flat button since the type of this widget is a flat button. That means that it will return a flat button. This flat button requires some things like unpressed, like a child. So firstly, let's give it some padding, which will be from vertical here, top, and the bottom, which will be 16 pixel, and the horizontal, let's give it a lot of padding from the horizontal, from the sides, which will be 72. Color here, let's give it a color of some kind of blue. I picked this color from my design in Figma. And shape, I want for this color, for this button to be rounded. That's why for the shape I give it a rounded rectangle border. And for the border radius, I'm gonna give it a circular that takes a value of 100, so that it will be fully rounded from the sides. And unpressed here, I'm gonna give it just a function of an empty function that returns nothing. And the child, which will be of course a text that says hire me, but I need to style this text. What I give for the style is a text style, and the color, which will be white, and the font size here 20 pixel, and the font weight will be normal, just 500, and some letter spacing, which will give some space between the letters in my text. So after calling here my widget, I need to save the file and see the result in my screen. Once I save the file, here is the result in my device. So as you can see here, here is my button that looks great, but it needs some space from the top. Let's give for this button some space from the top of my about me widget here. So that's why I'm gonna go here and give it some size box. Let's give some height for this size box to give a lot of height from the. So let's create here a widget, a sized box after or before this build flat button widget. This size box, I'm gonna give some height for this size box, which will be 42 pixel here. Let's again save the file and see how it looks in my device. Alright, so after saving the files, here is the final results for my design here. I think that it looks good for now, and it gives a lot of free spacing here, white spacing, that give it this button looks good, and looks like a call to action button that needs to be clicked once you hit this page. So I think that I'm done with this tutorial here. Thanks for watching, and don't forget that all this code source, I'm gonna put the link for this code source, for this code in this description of this video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. A lot of good stuffs are coming. Goodbye.